You're right that CDS does not have an operational mandate. But if you look at the three hats which the CDS wears and the way he functions, like I'm also permanent chairman, chief of staff committee. So any operational decisions which is taken by the three services, I'm party to it.
Right.
And the whole committee actually goes by my advice because of seniority and other reasons.
Right.
That I think is important. That must be understood. So willy-nilly you get involved. But if it was a single service operation, if the army by itself was carrying out a counterinsurgency operation, then they could well do it independently without CDS getting involved.
Sure.
So that is one. Second thing is, as a CDS, my role is to advise, single point advice to the government of India. So if this advice was being given one-to-one, then it was all right. But
Right.
most of the time, like in Operation Sindoor, this advice was being given to the political authority completely as part of CUSC.
Sure.
So whatever advice I gave, so that had some kind of a legitimacy for the other services to follow.
Right.
So that I think was important. Another thing is, while the three services operate in their traditional domains, but there are new domains like space, cyber, cognitive warfare. Now these domains come under headquarter IDS, and these are to be made available to the services in support of their
Sure.
operations. So in that way, some kind of an oversight over that is also there.
Future wars seem to be unpredictable. They are technology based, and technology is changing so rapidly that it may not last. A certain technology may not be useful maybe a year or two later, or it will have an upgraded technology coming in there. How are the armed forces, who are normally very, I would say, slow moving or deliberate in their induction or absorption of technology, how are they meeting this challenge?
So you're right, actually. When we all joined service, it was geography which probably dictated strategy and tactics.
Right.
Today, it means technology has overtaken geography completely and it's made it irrelevant. So technology is driving tactics, it's driving strategies, driving the way we fight battles. So we got to be very progressive in thinking as to where this is all leading to. And means I must also try and tell you in the same breath that predicting the future very accurately is
It's
rather
difficult.
difficult. So we need to debate this.
Right.
And I have created various forums for this particular debate.
So the big elephant in the tent. Where is theaterization journey now? At what stage are we? Because there were so many debates after Op Sindoor. Although you were already progressing jointness, integration, you said those are the preliminary steps that you have to take. And then, of course, go forward. And ultimate aim is theaterization or joint theater command. Let me put it that way. Where are we in that journey?
So start. Let me actually tell you that creation of theatre commands is part of my mandate actually.
Right.
It's given as part of a TOB or business rules. So one part
Terms
says
of
that,
business.
yes,
Yeah.
terms of business rules. So I have to progress it to its logical conclusion.
Correct.
I mean, anyone who's a CDS, he's supposed to do it actually.
Right.
So that's been mandated for this appointment. So that I think is important. We started this business the moment I took over as CDS. Means in fact, General Rawat started it,
Yes.
my predecessor. And we continued with some kind of strategic discussion between the three chiefs and myself for over about 26 days, spread over 2-3 years.
One of them is sitting here.
Sitting here, here Chief Marshal Chaudhary, General Manoj Pandey,
That's right.
and Admiral Hari Kumar. And when these people retired, we compiled all those discussions of ours in a kind of a booklet and submitted it to the government. So at that point of time, there were still some issues left in that Op Tiranga. Those discussions continued further. And I would say Air Chief Marshal Chaudhary was even part of that second discussion.
I see.
So he retired
Later than the other
three
two.
or four
Yeah.
months later. So that's where we are. What has happened is post Sindoor, there are some more lessons that we have learned. I need to incorporate that into this model which we have worked out. Say like in the earlier model, we were saying that force generation, force application would be different. And the theatre commander would be responsible for force application and a service chief for only force generation.
Right.
So it gave him only a responsibility of raise, train, sustain kind of a factor. But in this whole Operation Sindoor, we found that the service chiefs also had a major role as part of COC and directly or also with the leadership. So we can't deny away this particular role in the Indian context for some more time.
Right.
So we need to rework that thing out, the role of chiefs of staff committee. That is, I think, one big lesson. Second big lesson is how do we interact with the higher leadership, the higher defense organization and strategic decision making. Now we have a lot of experience. We have experience of Uri, we have experience of Balakot, Sindoor, Galwan, Doklam, COVID. So we need to amalgamate that particular experience, come to an organization structure which will be for all seasons actually. That would be should be there, and for which we would require not only means it's not a COSC decision guidance of people like NSA etc. would be required to finalize that HDO structure for war, less than war, because today they
It's
don't
less
declare
than war.
wars
Actually, you can't define war anymore.
anymore.
Yeah.
So we need to work out those structures. So that I think is important.
So, finally, let me ask you this. This was the mandate has been clear. The Prime Minister has declared it. He has said this in the Parliament or otherwise also, that theatre commands or joint theatre commands is the way forward. So there's no question of theatre commands not happening. Only their shape, their timing, and perhaps their structure. I mean, shape and structure is the same thing, but structure. It has to be unique to Indian conditions and Indian challenges. Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, so that particular part we have already done.
Okay.
So 90% of the work is already done. Is that little bit of things which we have learned from the present ongoing operations. Some debate more between us. Post Sindoor, the biggest problem we are facing is finding time actually.